Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is the upcoming referendum in Sudan, and we're fortunate to have with us to talk about this referendum that has been planned over the last several months in Sudan, Dr. LMadu. And of course, Dr. Madu, let me welcome you to the show this morning and tell you how delighted we are to have you here, and to know again that we've had you on a number of occasions, and each time you bring us such excellent information. Now let's talk about, as we indicated earlier, the upcoming referendum in Sudan, and exactly what are we talking about when we say that?
Well, you know, this is a very good occasion to talk about it, given the fact that President Mayardit, of South Sudan, will be here on Sunday to speak to his countrymen. Mayardit succeeded John Garang, who was killed in a helicopter crash in July 2005. And since then, he's been working very hard to actualize the agreements reached with the government in Khartoum, i.e., a semi-independent South Sudan, and also a referendum on January 11th for the Southerners to decide if they're going to be part of Sudan or if they're going to be an independent nation. It's not an easy job to do at this particular time. As you are aware of, the Sudanese have been engaged in a lot of conflicts since the 1950s. There has been a conflict between the South, which is predominantly Christian and black, and the North, which is predominantly Arabic, who govern the country. The South has been fighting for autonomy and also for self-determination, and at the same time for religious freedom. One of the problems have been an imposition of the Sharia law on the Southerners, who have resisted,
These are the Christians.
Exactly, the Christians in the South have resisted this, by force. And for over 40 to 50 years now, that fight has continued. So following what we call the Machakos Agreement of 2004, Machakos is a town in Kenya where this agreement was reached, and also the Comprehensive Agreement of January 2005, a 5-year window, was given for the Southerners, to be autonomous within, South Sudan, pending the referendum in January, to decide if they want to stay in the country or go. From my, own hunch, and having talked to a lot of Southerners, their intention is to vote, to have their own independent republic in the South.
In the South.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing. So many attempts have been made, to stay within the Republic of Sudan, but has always collapsed. For example, in 1972, the former President Nimeri, had an agreement signed in Addis Ababa under the auspices of Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, bringing an end to the conflict, and also for the Southerners to worship as they want without imposition of Sharia. However, in 1983, that agreement was torn up and thrown into the trash, and the Sharia law was reimposed again. That's how the new conflict started again. John Garang, who was a colonel at that time, took his men to the bush and started resisting it until this agreement was reached in 2004 and 2005. So now the question is, are the Southerners going to stay in Sudan, or are they going to have an independent republic? Majority of them want, to have an independent republic.
All right.
But the North does not want really for this, to happen, because most of the resources, i.e. oil, is in the South, while the refineries are in the North. And secondly, Egypt and some of the Arab countries does not want the South to be independent because of the control of the Nile, which is in the South.
Okay, and so in a real sense, this referendum should make some decisions in reference to that will eventually bring an end to the conflict in Sudan that has been going on for the last 40 years. Is that the essence of what they're trying to do?
Absolutely, because if the South becomes independent, so they don't have to worry about who's imposing Sharia on them and what have you, and discrimination as they've been facing for the past 40 to 50 years.
Very good. And of course, Dr. LMadu, what we'll do, we'll take this first commercial break, and then we'll come back and deal with some other aspects of this international situation. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.